morning and welcome to this special broadcast. This morning we're coming to you live from Gallagher Convention Center in Midrand. This broadcast, of course, brought to you by the SABC in partnership with the Independent Electoral Commission. Now, what's going to happen here this morning is the IEC has brought together 28 of the country's major political parties to come and sign a pledge. This pledge, of course, commits them to free and fair elections, among other things. Now, the reason the IEC has chosen 28 political parties out of the 121 parties that will be contesting this election is because these are the parties that will be contesting the elections in at least 2 provinces in this country. Now, without wasting any time, we're going to start with the draw. This draw, of course, is a draw for who is going to appear first on the ballot box on May 18 when you go to cast your vote. So before we go to the code of conduct, we're going to do that very quick ceremony for you now. Without wasting any time, I'm going to call upon someone from the audience whose birthday it is today to come and do the draw for us today. Anyone whose birthday it is today? Yes, sir. Please come forward. Please give him a round warm of applause. Please tell us who you are.
Daniel Swartz from the Western Cape. Daniel Swartz from the Western Cape.
Happy birthday. Well, please come and do the honors for us here. Going. Yes, please stay. Pick anybody. Well, we've got 2. Oh, that's one. Well, the party that is going to be first on the ballot box on May 18, 2011 is
Makana Independent New Deal.
Makana Independent New Deal will be first on the ballot box. Are they here? Are they here? Well, they are not here. Well, you're lost, Makana.
Ikusasa Lesizwe Independent Movement.
Ikusasa Lesizwe Independent Movement, are you here? Are you here? Hey. Okay. That time lucky.
African Independent Congress.
Well, the African Independent Congress will be first on the ballot paper come May 18, 2011. Congratulations, Mr. Nchaisa. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel very much great. I feel very much great that I've got to lead.
do you think more people will vote for you than would have been the case if you weren't drawn first?
Yes, hopefully they've got it.
Well, let's hope so. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you very much. And happy birthday once more. Well, that ends that part of the business. We are, of course, now going to call upon the chairperson of the Independent Electoral Commission, Dr. Brigalia Bam, to talk very briefly about the significance of the signing of the Code of Conduct. But as she is coming, you can see there on one of the screens, it begins to tell you how the ballot paper is going to look like, certainly in metropolitan areas. That's how the ballot paper will look like on May 18. Of course, a lot of things will have to be done to finalize the ballot paper in other parts of the country, like your local councils and so on. That was for the metros. Dr. Bam, the significance of today's signing of the code of conduct by political parties.
Permit me to stand here so that I don't give my back to them, as I did before. The significance is that the code of conduct is not only a moral obligation, but it is a legal one. And the electoral court, in fact, may deregister a political party that has violated the code of conduct. So political parties, their representatives and their members must all abide by the code of conduct. Now, within the law, there are also in some sections of the law articles that in fact are a criminal offense. And for those that are a criminal offense, again, the sanctions are very serious, and that people, in fact, would be expected to pay 200,000 rand. If it is not, it could be a sentence of 10 years. And so it is a very serious code, and we are delighted that over the years, the political parties in this country have, in fact, made every effort, their followers, to abide by the aspects of the code of conduct. And we hope they will do the same this time.
And the law enforcement agencies will be there, of course, for those who may be doing undesirable things.
Yes, indeed. In most of the rallies, where the rallies are taking place as the political parties are campaigning, we usually have the police who are there. And in some cases, we do send our own mediators who are working with us during the time to go to these various areas, especially in those areas that we know we target certain areas, because we can't go to each and every rally in this country or to be in each and every province. Then we make sure that the police are there and others.
And of course, offenses range from small things like defacing your opponent's placard to more serious ones where violence and intimidation or even fights among candidates and parties.
A number of things. Some is the language. The language and the speech is very important because you communicate that to a larger audience. People hear what you say, it will come through the media. Of course, you have problems where people simply pass remarks to voters that are not pleasant remarks. And then you have the serious one where people will go and remove the posters of another party, or they will go and mark it and scrap it. And those are things that are very, very serious, because every party has a right to put their posters there and be sure that their posters are safe so that the public can see them.
In other words, supporters who do such things are not doing their political parties any favor. If anything, they can actually put their political parties in serious trouble.
In fact, sometimes when the followers do that, they are not aware. They think that they are pleasing the leadership. And they think that once they've done that, the leadership is going to compliment them. And on the contrary, it is really tarnishing the image of a party, that the party doesn't have followers and representatives who are disciplined and the people who respect the code of conduct. So it is important for the parties to make sure that their followers and representatives understand, and not only understand it, but they appreciate why it is important to have the code of conduct. Not because it is illegal, yes, but also to know that it is something important in creating the climate that is conducive to free and fair elections, because the pre-election time is as important as the election day itself. In fact, even more important, because you already have set up an environment which must encourage voters to feel free to go anywhere they like, to feel they are safe. There is no form of abuse. There is no way where there will be comments that are negative and unpleasant.
Thank you very much, Dr. Brigalia Brown, the chairperson of the Independent Electoral Commission. Now, without wasting any more time, we're going to hand over to the Chief Electoral Officer, Ms. Pensi Tlakula, who is going to take care of proceedings, in particular the signing of the Code of Conduct and the pledges that the political parties, the political leaders you see behind me, are going to be making to the nation this morning. Over to you, Ms. Tlakula.
Thank you very much, Voyo. What we're going to do, I'm going to call the political parties in the order in which they will appear on the ballot paper. The representative of the political party will come to this podium, will give each representative 3 minutes to make a speech. And that speech should be confined to the Code of Conduct. Please, leaders of political parties, refrain from campaigning, because this event has very few people actually, so you will have ample time to campaign elsewhere. And after you make your 3-minute input, you will then walk to the table there where you will sign the pledge in the presence of Bishop Makgoba. 3 minutes, it's strict. If you exceed your 3 minutes, I'll come and stand next to you. Once I do that, you must know that your 3 minutes is over. Thank you very much. The first party, African Independent Congress.
Thank you, Chairperson. Ladies and gentlemen, can I first extend an apology for my president, AIC President, Comrade Gallo, who could not come here due to parliamentary issues. As the AIC, we are prepared to observe the rule of law. We are prepared to abide by the Code of Conduct that are going to sign today. We are very much against any form of intimidation, violence, and cheating, more especially at the voting stations. I therefore call upon all South Africans and the people of Matatiel in particular to go out in large numbers and vote. Of course, I think they would vote for my party. I say, I'm not campaigning, I'm sorry. They should understand that now vote is very important. It is then now that we have got to build our government, to give a helping hand to our government. Because for the people who say people should not go out and vote, that is out of order. All people of South Africa should go and vote. Matatiel people, please go out and vote. We so wish now that this should be free and fair elections as it used to be. Thank you very much.
African National Congress.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Our democracy is held up to the world as a shining example of how adversaries can move from conflict to peaceful coexistence through the power of the ballot. The ANC was at the forefront of the struggle to bring democracy to our country, and we have to continue to defend democracy and protect the proud record of free and fair elections we have had as a country. There should never be any doubt anywhere in our country or the international community
that our governments are elected through the will of the people. No one should try to sabotage or undermine the will of the people. We want our voters to make an informed choice. They should choose the ANC because we will continue to deliver a better life for all, not because we have fooled them. Not because we have fooled them. We do not want anyone to vote for us out of a fear or because of intimidation or dirty tricks. We take the Electoral Code of Conduct very seriously, and we train our party campaign volunteers, candidates and leaders to understand the electoral laws and the Code of Conduct. We believe that elections should be vigorously contested, but we continuously urge all our supporters and members to ensure that all parties have a chance to put their policies to voters and to persuade them to vote for them. So we also speak for all the parties that are here today. We ask our local cadres to educate our supporters, to protect the media in every corner of our country. We make it crystal clear that the ANC will not tolerate any breaches of the code, and that any ANC cadre that contravenes the provisions will be dealt with by both the criminal justice system and the ANC's disciplinary process. When we win an election, we want to know that we have earned that victory on the basis of an informed and free choice by the people of South Africa. When we lose, as we have done in some municipalities, we're not afraid to admit, we also want to know that we can trust the result and accept it as the choice of the people. We urge all South Africans, the IEC, the SAPs, all political parties and employers to respect the Code of Conduct and help make it a living document. We especially appeal to employers to make sure that workers who work on election day get time to go and vote. We also appeal that farmers and other employers who have workers living on their property allow parties to arrange access to campaign there. This is also part of the Code of Conduct. Let our democracy be alive with debate and ideas. Let the people choose for themselves the government they want. Let us respect the right of all to vote and to do so based on an informed choice. We have to also share, in particular with the IEC and all South Africans, that unfortunately we have already experienced the breach of the code in how in certain areas, in 2 provinces, our billboards have been defaced and some of our members have actually been assaulted by members of other parties. And so we really appeal to every political party and every South African to make sure that we respect the Code of Conduct and the electoral laws of the country. Thank you.
African People's Convention.
Program Director, the Chairperson of the IEC, Dr. Brigalia Bam, Comrade Balega Mbete, and leaders of other political parties, invited guests, comrades and fellow South Africans. I'm here on behalf of the African People's Convention to pledge our commitment to observe the letter and the spirit of the Electoral Code. Our country has made significant strides since 1994, and it is important to continuously build on the foundation that has been laid. It is our belief as the APC that violence and intimidation have lost their currency as a means of political mobilization. We wish to reiterate that it is our conviction that no one has to die for anybody to be a councillor, and no one should become a councillor dripping with the blood of the African people. We believe that politics is a competition of ideas, and therefore let the ideas compete. The code of conduct, like discipline, is either observed or enforced, and we call upon the IEC to play its role in firmly and decisively acting against those who violate the code. We must build a culture of tolerance and mutual acceptance. We are all challenged as parties and as leaders to ensure that our words and commitments we make here today are backed by words. As the APC, we approach these elections with hope and confidence that the elections are going to be peaceful and the will of the people will be firmly reflected. As for us, we remain committed to our vision of a society that is democratic in form, non-racial in character, and socialistic in content. Thank you.
Al-Jama.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Al-Jama is contesting the elections in the two cities of Cape Town and Johannesburg. I have pleasure in saying that after a no vote in 2004, more Muslims are taking part in the political life of the country, although some Muslim women cannot vote because there is still no separate queue for women on voting day. Those Maulanas who have objected to Muslims voting, the party has lobbied them, and they have now indicated that Muslims are free to vote, which is a major achievement. The party has grown from 20 candidates in 2009 to 200 candidates 2 years later. The Muslim community is one of the most peaceful communities in South Africa, and this will manifest itself on election day, inshallah. Our jihad for votes will be peaceful. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Ma Dr. Bam for the wonderful work of the IEC, and we look forward to an exciting election. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Azanian People's Organization.
Thank you, Program Director, IEC Chairperson, leaders of political parties, clergy who are here, Chapter 9 institutions, fellow South Africans, comrades and friends, Lochani, Realocha. Indeed, we are not here to campaign program director. This is a busy period. Parties are campaigning outside, of course. I'd been scheduled to do something elsewhere today, and there was a big complaint from those who were supposed to benefit from my services when I told them that I was coming here. Because they asked me, why do we have to sign as a ZAPU? Because we have been abiding by the code of conduct of the IEC. They were saying to me, they have been behaving, they were saying to me, they never bullied anybody or any party. They said to me, ZAPU's record speaks for itself. But I said to them, it is necessary for us to come here to make a public declaration and to indicate our continued commitment to a free and fair election in our country, to a peaceful campaigning and good behavior, respect for others as they continue also to campaign for their parties. As a ZAPU, will conduct ourselves in line with the code of conduct, and we call upon all South Africans to use their vote to advance the country's interests. We counsel against the burning and destruction of property during what people call service delivery protests. And we are saying to our people, the best way of showing how you feel is by voting. Indeed, we think the best form of service delivery protest would be to go and vote for a party of your choice. We pray for a peaceful election, and we know God will grant us that. The assurance given to Zerubbabel by the prophet Isaiah, not by might, but by my spirit. By God's spirit, we will have a peaceful election. God bless our country and our people. We sign here as a ZAPU today, singing the wedding song, Hosaina Mu Gase Morabaraba. And we commit as ZAPU, we commit our membership to good behavior, to good conduct during the campaigning on election day and after the elections. Thank you very much.
Black Consciousness Party.
Program Director, the Chairperson of the IEC, all guests, thank you for the opportunity to make a few points. Firstly, let me start by apologizing for the absence of the National President of the Black Consciousness Party, Dr. Ntsope Mukape, who could not make it for very good reasons. I want to say that the Black Consciousness Party stands firmly behind the provisions of the Code of Conduct as contained in the pledge itself. Like many other parties, we do not have a track record of having been hauled before the IEC or called upon to come and explain the conduct of our members. We have been well behaved all the time, and there is no reason for us to change this time around, because we understand the importance of conduct that makes it possible for other voices and other opinions to be made. We understand the need for everybody to feel free to express their views. And so we echo the sentiments expressed already by other colleagues here, that it is the responsibility of all the parties to make sure that everybody is not intimidated, both during the act of voting and even before, during the mobilization program, where particularly all these are told that they will forfeit their mudende if they don't actually vote for particular parties. We think that that is conduct that the IEC must follow and firmly deal with. Subsection 6, however, and this is the point that we'd also like to make. We've made it before, we'd like to make it now because we think that we have to reiterate and repeat it because it compromises the independence and also the fairness of the vote itself. Subsection 6 of the Electoral Commissions Act 1996 explains very clearly the process of setting up, of establishing and the composition of the commission itself. You have a panel which consists of the Constitutional Court President, the Public Protector, the Commission on Gender Equality, and the Human Rights Commission. All those individuals and institutions are largely endorsed by the President of the country. They recommend candidates to the Committee of the National Assembly. But the National Assembly, the composition also is proportionately constituted by political parties at the National Assembly, proportionately. And that committee then recommends the President, who actually appoints the commission. It's got nothing to do with the individuals within the commission. It is the process itself that is very, very difficult for us. The President is himself not neutral. The President belongs to a political party. So there is that difficulty. We've mentioned it in the past. We'll mention it again today. In spite of that difficulty, we commit to this process and we proceed to go and sign. Thank you.